Hello everybody, welcome to R&B Reviews. I'm Rob, and today I'm joined by my guest reviewer, Justin from Dust Productions.
Hey guys.
Hey, welcome back. It's great to have you here again.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yep, and we got in for a big treat. As you know, the holidays are coming up, so we're going to be reviewing a version of A Christmas Carol, and as you can see, I'm all dressed up for it. You like my shirt, Justin? Doesn't this get you into the holiday spirit?
Bah, humbug.
No. Now, surely you don't mean it. Don't be such a Scrooge. Speaking of Scrooge, that's actually what we're going to be reviewing today. We're going to be reviewing the 1984 George C. Scott version of A Christmas Carol. Now, a few years ago, I actually reviewed what many people have called the three classic versions of Christmas Carol, where I reviewed the 1935 British film with Seymour Hicks, the Hollywood 1938 version with Reginald Owen, and the 1951 classic with Alistair Sim. So somebody said that we should review this version from 1984 because many people have actually told me that they think this is the best adaptation. So that's what we ended up doing. We just got done watching it, and you said this is your first live action version.
Yeah, I've only seen like the cartoon versions and stuff. Like I've never seen the actual, this
live action.
And this is what is this the actual like second or third? What you said, third remake?
Oh no, there's been plenty like that. They actually go back to the silent era, but the three that I mentioned are like talkies from like the 30s and the 50s and stuff. But there's been countless versions. But I would say maybe this is like the fourth or fifth so-called classic version.
I didn't know it went back that far.
Oh yeah, I believe the first
silent film.
Yeah, I've seen a 1910 short of Christmas Carol. It's abridged, but it does exist. So yeah, this goes way back. So I don't think we need to explain the story of A Christmas Carol. I'm sure many of you have seen it. So what was your reaction to this movie?
In the beginning, like in the I don't know, first 10 minutes. This was filmed, you said, in the 80s.
84, yeah.
And it didn't, like, usually when something's filmed in the 80s, like, even if it's, like, the time of, like, this movie, like, obviously, this isn't set in the 80s, but when something's filmed in, like, the 80s or the 90s or the 70s, there's always that feel of, you can almost guess when it was filmed. And to this, like, the beginning, like, I'd say half of it was very Harry Potter-ish to me.
Oh.
Like, almost kind of, it still holds up to time. And just the way they did some of their, like, camera shots and everything, and the way they did all their special effects and stuff. Surprisingly kind of modern.
Yeah, something that I like, this version for me has replaced the 1951 version as the ultimate classic, most faithful adaptation, because it makes you feel like you're there. The details, like from the costumes to it's not glossy, like you said. It's like you're in that time period. It's like you're there. Something I noticed with the sound, like in many scenes that take place indoors, like Scrooge's office, you hear the echo like if you're actually in that room.
Yeah, there were probably actually rooms that they filmed in then.
Yeah, so it made you feel like you were there. To me, it felt very authentic. So it really helps you feel like you're there watching these characters. And something else, George C. Scott, I loved him as an actor. He's one of those actors where even though he's got the same gruff voice and stuff like that, no matter what movie I've seen, and whether it's the prosecutor in Anatomy of a Murder or even the villain in the cartoon Rescuers Down Under, he always really makes you feel like you're watching the character. As a matter of fact, I think all of the actors do that. It's like you're watching real people. And I've heard the dialogue countless times, and I've read it in Dickens' story, and a lot of versions it's like they're saying it because it's traditional, but here I felt like these are what the characters were thinking. Like when Scrooge is talking about Christmas being a humbug, it's like it's coming out of his mouth and out of his head as he's saying it. He's not just saying it because it's Dickens wrote it that way and you have to say it. It's like everybody made you feel like you're watching real people really thinking this out.
If I could work my will, every idiot who goes about with Merry Christmas on his lips should be boiled in his own pudding and buried with a stake of olives through his heart.
So you're saying that like stuff like this, usually it almost seems like you're watching like a Christmas play.
Yeah, for example, the Kelsey Grammer version that's based off the musical, it's like, to me, when I've watched that version, it's like everybody's saying that because it's in Dickens' story, and it's been said in countless versions that you have to say it. But here, these actors really put meaning, behind it. At least for me, it does. And one thing I liked about George C. Scott is he doesn't overdo it on the crankiness. Like, if you watch Seymour Hicks from the 1935 version of Reginald Orton from 1938, they really force the whole cranky the whole time. But here it's like you kind of get the feeling that he's chilly and he doesn't like Christmas, but he doesn't overplay it, in my opinion. So I really loved his portrayal of Scrooge.
Yeah, like it was really believable. And even when he was being mean, you could tell he had like another side to him that he just refused to let come out. And of course you see it at the end. But
yeah, something you told me, you thought that when we were watching the Christmas present segment, you thought that the past was scarier. Why did you think that?
The Ghost of Christmas Past, she was scarier. The Ghost of Christmas Present, he didn't seem like scary. Well, towards the end he did some scary stuff, but like it wasn't so mysterious. I guess because it's the present. That's what he's showing them. It's not the past. It's not the future. You could be scared of stuff that happened in the past or regret things in the past. And I guess that really helps that character sell that role. But just the way the Ghost of Christmas Past like portrayed herself was just kind of creepy. Yeah. And always talking in riddles,
Yeah, I would make an argument that the present can be scary. Like, for example, this part where he's throwing back what Scrooge said earlier in his face, like the surplus. To me, that was very scary and creepy to me when he did that, because it made you think. He's saying that sometimes the people that don't pay attention to their fellow men are the ones that are unworthy in the sight of heaven and everything. So that was like a very chilling aspect of it. And I also liked the actor that played Jacob Marley. Like, he's definitely very ghost-like, and the way they have him portrayed is he doesn't blink. It's like a dead person, the way he's talking and moving and stuff like that. And I really loved that. And it also, this version includes some stuff that oftentimes get let out. For example, in the Jacob Marley segment, there's the ghostly carriage, because most versions start with Scrooge coming to his house and seeing, Marley on the door knocker. You get the ghostly carriage. I've only seen that in one other version. It was the 1970 version with Albert Finney, and I thought that was very well done too.
For the people that don't know, it's Scrooge is walking down it's an alley
to his home.
And back in the day, they'd have this like carriage, and it would carry caskets. And that's what he saw, but it disappeared when it went down the alley. And it it would have freaked me out too. Yeah. And those carriages are just creepy in general, because it's a carriage and it's four sides of glass and you can see the casket inside.
It's like what they have now with the hearses and funeral cars.
Just a lot more creepier. Like, it was that scene was creepy.
Yeah, on the technical side, I thought everything was very well done. And something I noticed in the beginning of the movie, it's very dark and eerie, but after Scrooge has his revelation, it's so sunny and it's so bright. It's like difference between night and day. I thought that was a nice little contrast there. Mm-hmm. Oh, and I gotta say, the score. This is one of the best scores to complement a movie. The sound effects and the scores really went well with the images very well. Like, whether it was supposed to be, you feel sorry for characters, or whether it's supposed to scare you, it really, really went with the movie, with the footage.
I liked a lot of things about it. Like, there are so many different versions of Scrooge's story, and like there's always different variations. I kind of like this one. Do you think this version is the most accurate to the original story?
I would say yes, it is. I would probably put this version and then maybe the 1951 version with it. I would definitely say it's probably the more accurate. And like I said, this one, it's like you're watching the characters actually think and reenact, and the movement and the tone. It's like they're not just saying Dickens dialogue. It's like they're thinking it and they mean it, and they put some thought behind why they're saying what they're saying, basically. And I feel like when I was watching it, it reiterates the importance of doing good for your fellow man. Like, there's a couple speeches where, like, there's one scene where the president takes Scrooge to this alley where there's poor people, and you have to remember that I feel like it reiterates that you have to, to help people that are in need. And Scrooge brushes them off in the beginning, saying they need to go to workhouses or like other things and stuff like that, and those weren't good, good places to go to even at that time. So at this one, I think it reiterates the Christmas message that you have to remember to help people in need and put others before you, and not think of like Black Friday gifts where you get the new TV or the new Samsung phone or whatever. It's like you have to remember to help out and fellow man volunteering or donating clothes or something like that, food or even, So I would say I know it's a long-winded answer, but yes, I would say it is probably the most, in my opinion, accurate, not just with the period, but with the message.
Right.
Yeah. So is this movie going to cause you to go seek out the other versions or not really?
I think it could. I don't know about like the silent films, because I don't really do silent films. But I don't know. Yeah, definitely. It was definitely different than like the like the Muppet version.
Yeah. Well, that's geared more towards family. I mean, this one, you could kind of watch it with your family, but I don't know if the kids will. I don't think they would get bored, but there's some stuff that might give them like nightmares and stuff.
I think they wouldn't understand certain things.
Yeah. Something that I like about Mickey's Christmas Carol and Muppet Christmas Carol is, it's a good introduction to Dickens' story. But this one, it goes deeper into what it's all about. And I think now that I'm thinking about it, maybe there are times where the kids may not get it now, but as they get older and experience more, they'll probably get to them. I would definitely recommend this. George C. Scott is terrific. The entire cast is terrific. And a lot of these actors I've seen in other British movies and other TV shows from Britain, like Doctor Who. Like, for example, one of the charity men is Michael Gough, who went on to play Alfred in the 1989 to 1998 Batman series, for example. So a lot of these actors I recognized, and they've played a variety of parts, and sometimes you're like, they look familiar, and then once you see what they've done, like, oh, they've done that part, and it's so different from what they've done in the past. And like I said, George C. Scott as an actor was always terrific, and I think he was great here. Yeah, I would definitely recommend this version. It's pretty good.
Yeah, so would I.
Definitely.
So would I. It's good.
Yeah.
It's something that like you would enjoy watching on like Christmas Eve or something.
Yeah, most definitely, and it reiterates the message of the season, I think, in addition to So that's our review of Christmas Carol starring George C. Scott. Now, if you have seen this version, what did you think about it? Go ahead and post your comments below. And if you want to check out some other holiday movies that movie reviews I've done in the past, including the 3 classic black and white talkie versions of the story, I'll put that in the screenshot at the end. And feel free to check out some other movies that you can either watch at home or streaming or in the movie theaters. So Justin, thank you very much, and feel free to check out his channel, Dust Productions. So of course yours is not really a holiday channel.
No, I'm a almost anything channel. So
yeah, blogs, paranormal stuff. I don't know what kind of ties in with the ghosts in this movie too. So, well, Justin, thanks for taking the time to do this video and letting me use your place to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, we'll see you guys next time.
All right. See ya.